Welcome back, guys. Now we are going to do the second part of your sixth chapter, that is your different kinds of verb, that is infinite verb, non-finite verb and finite verb. So in the last class we have talked about finite verbs, we have talked about non-finite verbs, and non-finite verbs is divided again into finite, gerund and participle, and the finite verb is again divided into 2 plus verb and the bare infinitives. In the last class we have completed up to 2 plus verb. Okay, so today we are going to start about your bare infinitives. What is bare infinitives? In your last class I had explained that bare infinitives are the infinitives that are used without the use of 2 plus verb. Like we use the verb without the preposition to. We use the infinitive without the use of to. See, the word to is frequently used with an infinitive. When an infinitive is used without the preposition to, it is known as bare infinitive. It is known as bare infinitive. Means when your infinitive or 2 plus verb is used without the preposition to, it is known as bare infinitive. Again, one thing to keep in mind, bare infinitives is used after certain verbs of perception. After certain verbs of perception. Bare infinitives are used after the verbs of perception. What is perception? Perception means something that helps us to realize. Something, the verbs that helps us to realize. It's not something we are doing, but we are understanding. The verbs that helps us to understand. For example, see, hear, feel, watch, notice, help, which helps us to realize something, to grasp something, to help us to see the insight. For example, I saw her cross the road. I saw her cross the road. See, your cross is your infinitive, but it is used without the preposition to. I will not say I saw her to cross the road, but I would say I saw her cross the road. So this cross is your bare infinitive without the use of preposition to. The clown made us laugh. The clown made us laugh. See, we are using bare infinitive, something that is a word of perception, but we are not using the this made. Made is a word of perception, and this is your bare infinitive, and we are not using the word to. We are not using the preposition to. So the verb cross, laugh, decide are known as bare infinitive because they are not using the preposition to before them. Okay, use of bare infinitive. I had explained this. The main verb in such a sentence is usually followed by a direct object and the infinitive. How? He saw me crying. Main verb means your finite verb. Main verb means your finite verb and is followed by a direct object. He saw me cry. He saw me cry. Next, see. Here, saw is the main verb followed by the object me and the bare infinitive cry. In some cases, we can use the verb by adding ing. By adding the ing means we can often use the present participle instead of bare infinitives without changing the meaning of the sentence. For example, he saw me cry is the sentence. I can also say it, he saw me crying. In this, we are not using bare infinitive, but we are using the past participle. So, this does not change the meaning. Again, what is the next rule of using bare infinitive? Bare infinitive follow modal auxiliaries like shall, will, can, may, should, would, could, might, must. Okay, bare infinitives can also be used along with the modal auxiliaries. Modal auxiliaries means the helping verb like will, might, must, can. Okay, for example, you should sleep now. For example, you should sleep now. You can sleep now. I will pay the bill. So you should. Should is your auxiliary verb. Sleep becomes your bare infinitive. We should go home. We should go home. Should auxiliary go is your bare infinitive. Bare infinitive means it's a verb. Okay. Next, bare infinitives are used after expression like had better, would rather, rather than, etc. Bare infinitives again can be used with expressions such as had better, would rather, or rather than. Means I would rather have coffee than tea. This have is your bare infinitive and I am not using to. I would rather to have coffee. No, I would rather have coffee than tea. I had better ask him. Would I say I had better to ask him? No, I would say I had better ask him. Had better are the expressions along with whom you are using this bare infinitive ask. Okay. Next is your gerund. What is gerund? A word which is like a verb but performs the work of a noun. Gerund is the word which is a verb but it does the work of a noun. For example, walking, reading, jogging. These are the verb. Jog. Jog is the verb. Walk is the verb. Read is the verb. But they are added with making present participle verb plus ing so that they can do the work of a noun. See, walking is good for health. Walking is good for health. So this walking is used as a noun over here. It is used as a noun. I'm not saying it is a noun, but it is used in place of a noun. Reading is a good hobby. Reading again is used as a noun. Okay. He likes jogging. You like jogging. They like jogging. He likes jogging. The verb jogging does not change in the above sentence. It is not a non-finite verb. It's called a gerund. It's called a gerund. The verb like is a finite verb that changes in the above. See, the liked. This like, the word like is changing in the 4 sentences. Likes, liked. So this is your finite verb, but this jogging is your gerund. Jogging is your gerund. It is a non-finite verb. It is a non-finite verb because it is not changing in all. The word jogging does not change in the 4 sentences and that's why it is a non-finite verb, but it is doing the work of a noun. It is doing the work of a noun and that's why it is known as gerund. So what is gerund? Gerund is a verb that does the work of a noun and it does not change according to the time of action, according to the number of person doing it, or according to the person, that is first person, second person, or third person. Okay. Now see, she is dancing on the stage. This is your finite verb. Dancing is your gerund. Now what are the function of gerund? What are the functions? Now gerund performs several functions. What are the functions? First, gerund does perform the work of a subject. Gerund can do the work of a subject. How? Walking is good for health. Walking is the subject of a sentence. So this is working as a subject. Gerund becomes the subject of the sentence. Next, the object of the main verb in the sentence. Gerund works as a subject. Gerund works as an object. What is object? Object is the part of a sentence on which your verb, your finite verb or your actual verb does the work. Object is the part of a sentence on which the finite verb does the work. For example, I don't like dancing. I don't like dancing. So here what is the verb? Your main verb is like. Your main verb is like. And it is working upon dancing. So this dancing becomes your gerund. It is working as a object of the main verb. Again, complement of a sentence. What is the next? Complement of a sentence. Complement means the part which completes a sentence. Complement means a part which completes the sentence. For example, Karan's favorite sport is swimming. If I simply block the swimming, is my sentence complete? No. This swimming makes my sentence complete. So this is the complement of a sentence. Okay. Next, object of a preposition. Next is working as an object of preposition. They accused him of stealing cash. Object of preposition. Preposition is of and object is stealing. Okay. Now gerund has some other functions also. What are they? The gerund may be modified by a possessive form of a noun or a pronoun. I did not like Riaz criticizing Mohit. Can be modified by the possessive form of a noun or pronoun. So it is working as a modified form. Working as a modified form of a noun or pronoun. What is your noun? Riya. Riya's criticizing. Riya's criticizing. Okay. Next, it can be used as an adjective like a noun qualifying other noun. A noun qualifying other noun. He uses a walking stick. Walking, a noun. We have seen here walking is a noun. Similarly here walking is a noun and it is qualifying another noun, stick. Walking stick. He uses a walking stick. I can simply say he uses a stick to walk. But no. Here it is used as an adjective like a noun qualifying another noun. Walking stick. Swimming pool. Pool is a noun. Swimming is also a noun. See, swimming is also a noun and so we are using this as an adjective. Now again, gerund may follow an adjective or a determiner. Gerund can be used after an adjective or a determiner. My job requires frequent. What kind of traveling? Frequent. How much? Frequent. This is your adjective and traveling is your gerund. Okay. So we will be doing up to this much today and we will be completing the next part, that is the verb function of gerund. Then we will be doing your participle in your next class. So till then, do revise this chapter and take out your doubts and do ask me when I go live with you. Till then, bye.